What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today we're back with 40 facts on the Warhammer 40K universe. Now, today is a different one because we will not be covering Space Marines, nor Chaos Space Marines. We will be talking about a Xeno species that you can't play on the battlefield. That's right, guys. Today we are talking about the Hrud. So the Hrud is a Xeno species that is very different from pretty much anything we have available to use as a playable race in Warhammer 40K. They're really interesting, and their whole lore behind them is just amazing. I really like it. So without further ado, guys, let's dive into 40 facts on the Hrud. So the Hrud are often depicted as being a crouched, diminutive creature swathed in rags, and its face is usually obscured by a hood, and they do possess a rat-like tail. It seems that the Hrud prefer darkness, and that they're basically scavengers and tunnel dwellers. They are found all throughout the galaxy, however, never in large numbers. They're considered to be parasites, and when they are referred to, it's usually because they are infesting a place. In addition, the limbs of the Hrud have a bone structure very similar to a human spine, allowing the limbs to bend in almost any direction. They also exclude various poisons from their skin, and their bodies tend to liquefy rapidly upon dying, making it very hard to study this creature after death. From what very little knowledge they have on these, the bodies of this species is known to be perfectly adapted to life of opportunistic predators, and they are able to synthesize a staggering array of different poisons. Any humans that were adapted by a tribe tend to adapt and live on these poisonous emanations. Thus, their departure can leave a human that have lived amongst them to die in a state of toxic shock, as their bodies become deprived of these poisons. In addition, they are able to slip past even the most narrowest of tunnels. Furthermore, they generate what they call a sac, or a sea mist, which is a distortion field that is actually biologically generated from their bodies, which allows them to confuse the eyes of the enemy. Many outsiders do not know whether this ability is a physical ability or a property of the chemicals they produce, or simply playing a trick on the light fields. But what is known is that the Hrud tend to be shrouded in darkness. Even within a cell that is in full light, they are able to conceal themselves. This is why this species is known as the Shadow Creeper, and many legends speak of them being nearly invisible. Another notable and quite dangerous trait from this race is that they tend to produce an innate entropic field from their body. This has the side effect of aging their surroundings, leading to objects such as crops turning to dust due to the prolonged exposure, and humans will suffer from premature aging. These time-distorting fields are capable of wreaking havoc on entire worlds, especially during their mass migrations, which are caused simply by the presence of the Hrud. When it comes to Hrud society, there is nothing more important than ancestry and family ties, and they also keep immaculate records on nearly everything. They are indeed a tribal race, and they shy away from contact with other Hrud tribes and empires. However, some Hruds will flock together to form a new tribe or join a pre-existing one. These Hrud societies mainly survive on petty thievery, power sapping, or being a parasite. They do get hired on occasion to become assassins, but they never stick around long enough to be anything more than a killer for a one-time job. Now, Hrud are also known to adopt humans and other races into their tribes, but they're mainly treated as slaves or pets. Usually, the chemical dependency that coincides between human and Hrud ensures that the human can really never run away for fear of dying from this chemical dependency. Every so often, a Hrud tribe will reach a critical mass and then split, one half executing a mass migration. This is probably because they have become too populous and they must split off to avoid detection. When it comes to the Hrud religion, the unusual aspect of this is that perhaps their legends are actually based on real events. This belief holds the view that their race was created by a benevolent pantheon of gods known as the Most Ancient, who intended for them to bask in the sun and to be fruitful. It is said that this changed when their gods entered into a war against the Mirror Devils, which saw them either slain, crippled, or forced to flee. Their legend continues to say that only a single member of their pantheon still exists, and he is known as the Ka, a god also known as He Who Lingers. This solitary member of godhood is said to recognize the dangers that would fall upon his beloved children, and thus he changed them into a race of nocturnal scavengers. Around 500,000 years ago, Ka is said to have told the Hrud that he had other great works to attend to, and he disappeared. However, he said that he would return to reunite them all at the time of the Rahid sect, which was the appointed time when the tribes would come together for a final battle, and this battle would be one taking place against the Mirror Devils. Now, one interesting thing about this pantheon of gods is that they include a horned hunter, a red-handed figure, a laughing jester, and a hammer-wielding artisan, which sounds very reminiscent of the elder gods. Hrud technology is usually scavenged from other races. However, they do have a weapon of their own known as a Hrud fusel, which is a powerful form of rifle based on warp plasma technology that literally draws raw energy from the warp and projects it outward, controlled in bursts to cause heavy damage. Some say that the fire created by this is hotter than a dying sun. One notable encounter between the Hrud and the Space Marines was when the Star Phantom's former homeworld of Harkonneth was being destroyed by a massive Hrud migration that was caught within a temporal warp rift. The Star Phantoms were credited as being the only Astartes chapter to have survived a Hrud migration with no outside support from the Imperium. However, the most well-known Hrud infestation came on the agri-world of Ursula Spinal. The world's crop turned to ash, and its defenders found their bodies biologically aged 50 standard years. To deal with this problem, 6 full regiments of the Imperial Guard's Valhallan Ice Warriors made planetfall and managed to defeat the Xenos infestation, but at the cost of the loss of combat readiness for 3 of the regiments due to premature aging caused by the Hrud's entropic fields. And with that, we end the lore on these strange Xeno species. What do you guys think the Hrud are? Are they scavengers that just want to live? Or perhaps they're out here to gain knowledge and power through their sneakiness? I don't know. In my opinion, they're pretty cool looking. It'd be really awesome to see how they play on the battlefield with their Hrud migrations and the whole aging thing. That's the one thing that really draws me to them. They're freaking, I don't know if it's their biology or their technology, but something that has to do with them causes entropic fields that will age you until you're nothing but dust. That's just awesome. So again, guys, let us know what other Xenos you guys want us to talk about. Perhaps you want to talk about the Dog Warriors of the Tau, or maybe some other thing. Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget, guys, we post each and every day, so stay subscribed for more 40K videos every day. We also got a Facebook, an Instagram, a Twitter, and a Patreon page, so check that out for more things 40K. And as always, I'm the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, signing out.